Good evening and welcome to the midweek's edition of Primetime News with me, Michael Madimba. Lead in this evening's bulletin. President Dr. Hage Geingob on Tuesday visited the Windhoek Central and Katutura State Hospitals for inspection of the COVID-19 situation and oxygen levels at the two public hospitals.
The president's visit to the hospitals follows a cabinet meeting held on Tuesday morning, during which matters pertaining to the COVID-19 situation in the country and measures to supply more oxygen and avail more beds for COVID-19 patients were discussed. During his visit, Dr. Geingob inspected the 20-ton oxygen supply tank stationed at the Katutura State Hospital, which supplies oxygen to the isolation center at the hospital, and another oxygen tank supply that regenerates oxygen for 24 hours at the Central Hospital, produced locally by Afrox Gas Namibia. Speaking to the media during his visit, Geingob said the country is currently experiencing the worst of the situation, which was never expected. He emphasized that the curbing of further COVID-19 infections is not a hospital battle, but a matter of how individuals conduct themselves in terms of adherence to the preventative regulations.
We are pleading for your own safety to take care of one another. Conditions that are required. Stay at home, wash your hands, don't touch many other things, and please, for your own sake, we have the worst of the situation. We have never expected this.
Asked whether he was pleased with what he has seen during his inspection, the president said he was satisfied with the measures that are currently in place.
We had a long cabinet meeting. The situation is so bad, and it's better to come and see for yourself. And I'm very happy.
In the same vein, a medical doctor at the Katutura State Hospital, Dr. Nelaro Amarulu, urged the public to adhere to the said COVID-19 preventative regulations stringently, stressing that adherence is the best treatment.
Prevention is better than cure. Because currently now it's not about affluence, it's not about do you have medical aid or not, it's about is there a bed available for you. And what you can do for yourself is strictly adhere to the measures. But the biggest thing that we want to get out there is vaccinate. The myths that are going around vaccination, I'm going to lose my fertility, sterility, it's a chip that is going to be put into my arm. Please, we are seeing the numbers, we have been recording the deaths, we are on the ground. This thing is not a joke.
Namibia on Tuesday recorded 1,567 new COVID-19 cases and 45 deaths. Minister of Health and Social Services Dr. Kalumbi Shangula has announced.
Shangula, in the COVID-19 update released on Wednesday, said the deaths were not recorded within 24 hours but spanned from 7 to 22 June 2021, taking the country's death toll to 1,224. The deaths were recorded in the districts of Windhoek, Grootfontein, Otjiwarongo, Walvis Bay, Swakopmund, Korikas, Oshakati, Onanjokwe, Engela and Rundu. He said among the cases reported on Tuesday are 838 females and 729 males, with the youngest being 1 month old and the oldest 91 years old. Meanwhile, the country recorded 727 new recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 61,211, with 533 people hospitalized, of which 96 were in intensive care units. Cumulative confirmed cases on Tuesday stood at 77,333, with active cases at 14,887.
Still on COVID-19 matters. With an average of 1,000 positive COVID-19 cases recorded daily, overwhelmed health professionals have called on Namibians to assist them by adhering to the COVID-19 regulations, saying hospitalization should be the last resort.
In an interview with Nampa recently, Dr. Fatima Nakale, who is stationed at one of the 2 COVID testing centers in Windhoek, explained that all the deaths are traumatizing even for health professionals.
We are now experiencing the third wave of COVID in Namibia, and it's a serious one. Many people are infected, many people are sick, and those that are infected, they are sick. And those that are sick, some of them, they are dying. So now, like daily, we have to lose someone, even at the level of a clinic.
Dr. Nakale said the devastating pandemic has thrown lives and livelihoods into disarray, adding that hospitals should be the last resort for those infected because the health system is overstretched and the only way the public can assist the system is by adhering to the guidelines. Another health professional who is employed at a private hospital and spoke on condition of anonymity said the situation has escalated so much that even people with world-class medical options cannot get admission to most private hospitals as they are full to capacity. Meanwhile, Ministry of Health and Social Services Executive Director Ben Nangombe recently indicated that the government is working hard to ensure that hospitals are capacitated with sufficient oxygen as the demand increases daily and the existing oxygen supply was built according to specifications of oxygen demand at the point in time. However, Nangombe also called Namibians to assist government by observing preventative measures which include wearing masks, observing social distancing and avoiding crowds.
Founding President Sam Nujoma has described Zambia's founding president, the late Kenneth Kaunda, as Africa's most outstanding son of the soil, a statesman and a foresighted leader of our time.
Kaunda, who died on 17th June 2021 in Lusaka at the age of 97, is expected to be buried on 7 July at the country's presidential burial site. He served as Zambia's president from 1964 until 1991. SWAPO's Nujoma and United National Independence Party founder Kaunda personally knew each other and worked together first as fellow freedom fighters and later for the Pan-African Freedom Movement of East, Central and Southern Africa. Nujoma, while conveying his condolences in a statement on Tuesday, referred to Kaunda as one of the founding fathers of Africa, whose country during his leadership became the political mecca and frontline state hosting several African national liberation movements. The founding father said, the Zambian people under the leadership of Kaunda went beyond their national interests and embraced and extended hospitality to many exiled citizens of Southern Rhodesia, South Africa, Angola, Mozambique and Southwest Africa, now Namibia, at great cost.
Members of the National Assembly have joined the rest of the country in mourning Ombara Ochitambi of the Ovairero Traditional Authority, Advocate Vekui Rukoro, who died on 18 June at the age of 66 after being diagnosed with COVID-19.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Professor Peter Kashavivi, in a media statement on Tuesday, expressed the Assembly's grief over the passing of Rukoro, describing him as a veteran politician and a leading legal mind who served in the business sector. He said the nation is not only mourning this great son of the Namibian nation, but also celebrates his gallantry and immense contribution to his motherland. Our thoughts and prayers are with his wife Dina, his children, grandchildren, and the entire family and Ovairero community during this time of bereavement. The nation mourns with you and celebrates the extraordinary life of Advocate Rukoro. May his soul rest in eternal peace, said Kashavivi. He also served as a Chief Executive Officer of the First National Bank from 2006 to 2013 and thereafter as CEO of the Meat Corporation of Namibia.
Stand by for your top roundup. In our business and economics news, we begin locally. Namibia Wildlife Resorts on Tuesday announced that Black Friday voucher clients with bookings made before 17th of June 2021 can amend their reservations before their arrival date until 31st of August 2021.
Throughout the past 15 months, Namibia Wildlife Resorts needed to find innovative ways to sustain its business through various specials, such as its Black Friday promotion held in November 2020, it said in a statement on Tuesday. Namibia Wildlife Resorts Managing Director Matthias Ngwangwama, in a media statement, said, with the travel restrictions that the president announced in June, which restricts exit and entry into the Windhoek or Kahanja-Rehoboth local authority areas, several clients with Black Friday vouchers were affected. The managing director said these measures by the president are there to safeguard our nation, and as the Namibian Wildlife Resorts, we are in full support of them. That's why, based on this, we have decided to allow our Black Friday voucher clients that made their bookings before 17 June the ability to move their reservations up until the 31st of August 2021. Ngwangwama further encouraged clients who had not redeemed their vouchers or made their bookings before the announcement by the president to do so and travel before 30th June, otherwise they will forfeit their vouchers as per the Namibia Wildlife Resorts terms and conditions.
The Korikas Town Council is owed $159,010 Namibian dollars in rates and taxes by residents and businesses, as Chief Executive Officer Andreas Cloversebe has said.
Howaseb, in an interview with Nampa on Tuesday, said residents owe the council about 95,379 Namibia dollars, while businesses owe an amount of 63,631 Namibia dollars for rates and taxes as at end of May 2021. The council is encouraging all residents to settle their outstanding accounts and to pay their monthly bills promptly. Following the outbreak of COVID-19, about 40% of residents are promptly honoring their municipal debts, while 60% of the business community honor their debts on a monthly basis, he said. Howaseb also said about 40% of ministries honor their debts, while payments by lodges have been severely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking to Nampa, businessman Japeth Nekondo said his business has not been productive since the outbreak of the virus and has affected monthly council bill payments. Nekondo said, I went to the council to make arrangements to pay off my rates and taxes that I owe. Josephine Simeon, Nampa News.
We'll be back shortly after the business and economics roundup. That's all the top news we had for you this evening. Kindly stand by for your sports update with Selima Chimofelini.
Thank you, Michael. Good evening and welcome to Sport Planet. Former unified light welterweight world champion Julius Blue Machine Indongo is set to fight Tanzania's Hassan Mwakinyo in the third edition of the Rumble in Dar boxing tournament in Tanzania on 30 July.
The two will be fighting in the super welterweight division for the African Boxing Union title, which is currently vacant. The bout headlines the third edition of the Rumble in Dar boxing series. The 38-year-old Indongo confirmed the bout to Nampa on Tuesday, saying the fight will give him an opportunity to relaunch his world title fight ambitions. Indongo said, "At the moment, I am doing physical fitness training, mostly running, as I cannot spare or use the punching bags because of COVID-19 restrictions. I am waiting for the Namibia Sports Commission to give me direction on the way forward when it comes to sparring." He added that there was still enough time for him to prepare well for this fight. Indongo is a former unified world champion, having held the World Boxing Association, International Boxing Federation, and International Boxing Organization titles between 2016 and 2017. Indongo has a record of 26 fights, 23 wins and 3 defeats. Mwakinyo has a record of 21 fights and 19 wins and 2 losses.
Namibia's cross-country cyclist Michelle Foster said she is better prepared for the upcoming Olympic Games than she was when she represented the country in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 2016.
Forster, who became the first ever Namibian female to qualify for the Olympic Games in 2016 for the women's cross-country race, told Nampa today that she's physically prepared for the Olympic Games in Tokyo, Japan. She said, "I'm currently in Europe and better prepared than when I went to compete at the 2016 Rio Olympics. I'm looking forward to the Games as I'm training hard with my coach every day." The cyclist, who also competed in the 2018 Commonwealth Games in Australia in the elite road and cross-country events, where she finished in 8th position, the highest position by any Namibian cyclist to date, added that being in Europe as part of her preparation for the upcoming Olympic Games has taught her a lot. Forster stated that her main goal for the Olympics is to do her personal best.
Your sports roundup is up next. And with that, we've come to the end of our midweek newscast. We thank you for tuning in. As always, give us a thumbs up and share. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe, as well as click on the notifications bell to stay up to date with the latest happenings locally and globally. Do make a date with us tomorrow for your primetime news. From myself, Salima Shimwe-Feleni, and the entire Nampa crew behind the scenes, it's good night.